Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Henry Lee at the Joslyn Center, Alhambra today for Chinese brush painting class, lesson 10. So we have one more week after this one. Recently we have lots of rain and fog, very hazy today. In LA, we used to have the haze, but I see really like a mist in the mountains, and it's a diffuse light. That's the landscape, like Asian or China. I'm used to this kind of weather. I don't know if you like it, but it's very good to paint in ink. Okay, ink painting is developed in this kind of environment, not sunny California. If we try to paint casting shadows in China, there's no blue sky, no casting shadows, no sunshine, basically. All we have is a very diffuse light, a lot of trees, and the silhouette of mountains. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, silhouette, mountain, yeah, and foggy, mist. We don't do the clouds. It's like early morning. Okay, so because I'm working on the vertical, I'm doing it upside down. You don't have to do this. But just watch me first, and then you can repeat this. Okay, so I basically, let me see. I have a Japanese blue ink. I think it has a little bit cool, like bluish. You can add. Yesterday, when I practiced, I added some ultramarine to regular ink to make this blue. But it's not so blue with blue ink, but it's kind of on the cool side of the tone. I mean, the black. So I'm going to use that today, see if that helps. And plus, this is very concentrated. It's like one drop equals to 8. So you're supposed to add up to 40 times to get the lightest tone. It's designed for light ink painting. This blue ink. So I'm using this just to let you know. This is concentrated. Otherwise, it's not black enough. So I just draw. I call this like a seeding. Along the bank, the river bank. This is upside down. Okay. You can just put a dash with some dots, maybe a dotted line. But I do want it a line. You can just do it like a line. It'll be fine. I see some artists just draw a dash, basically. So that's we call this is the ink seed or the supply. This artist we are learning today, named Chen Jialing, he developed a system that do not rely on the contour or the brushwork. But although he started as a fine line artist, he gave up all the traditional brushwork. He experimented, tried to explore the nature of free flow style on rice paper. Okay, so this paper is treated with a laundry detergent, very thin. Now I use a little bit of that liquid. Could be laundry detergent, but I did use some kind of cleaner. I just put beyond that, you can put it right in the middle of the ink, if you will, but it's a little bit okay. It's really hard to control the dripping, so that's why I put it upside down so it will drip. It takes a while. Supposedly, this liquid should be to control the direction. You need to put it on the white, the water, and then just let it go into the sky, right? If you want to create the reflection, you can put it right in the middle of the ink. You may, let me try to hold it flat a little bit. Oops. Try to add a little bit. Okay, I try to go wild. See what. Yeah, if that does not come in the front, just drive behind, you'll see a hard line, kind of like a skyline. But that's just the idea, okay? The idea is he has a 4-word secret, but he never explained it. I asked the ChatGPT, and I got perfect definition of the word with his understanding of what it implies. And it says the first character he mentioned is 走. 走 in Chinese means walk or run. It's like go to, like go. So the first stage is go. I think it means you make the ink move, flow. Not using brush. Okay, it's brushless. So the ink should run. Okay, that's the run. That's the first word is 走. Let me spell Chinese. It's all rhyme. It's all end with this vowel, ou. 走 means run or go, right? And if you see something you like, the next key is to 留 means preserve or stop and preserve. 走 留 pronounced as okay, to preserve, to stop, and you can use a hair dryer, and you can iron it, and you can blot it. Any other ways? Or just let it dry. Don't disturb it. Right? So 走留, and he has a third trick. It's called 漏. According to ChatGPT, means sip. Leaking, but sipping, S-E-E-P, right?
Yeah.
Sipping through. So he used 2 layers to paint, and he may use the second layer. And let me just do it quickly, see if I can get. Okay, I just grab any paper. Ideally, a very thin. It could be something like a mesh. Could it be like a simmer? What do you call this? anything with holes, right? You can paint through. So you can do something like this. So you got dotted lines. For example, I just let me add some. Just see that if we want to add something, he has something like a very subtle, like dotted line, right? So you can paint on top of the paper and just seeping through a little bit. So this creates something very natural. So he makes everything like a natural textural marks. Excuse me, let me close the door. Sorry, it's a class.
Just a very porous paper, even a tissue paper?
Yeah, a tissue paper, facial. Yeah, let's use a napkin.
Ah.
Okay, let me just get anything I got here. I didn't prepare for this, sorry. Let me just get a piece of napkin here. And you can just paint like that. You can do a palm tree or something. So instead of directly painting on the paper, so this is a little more drier, more subtle, right? And you can see through. Yeah, sometimes you can blot. So low means to seeping through.
Mm-hmm.
So you can also paint on the back side. That's also considered as seeping. So rain or flow, preserve or stop, seeping. The last of the 4 tricks he mentioned in the interview, never explained. I think it's pretty obvious though. This is low. Oh, I think I put it wrong. This is a low. This is liu. I spell it wrong. Sorry, my Chinese. So this one it's a low liu. Yeah. 走 liu low, and the toe. Okay, toe. Toe means transparent. Transparent, translucent. So his color is very light, and it overlaps each other to create depth. Okay. So his philosophy is to because in his some of his contemporaries, the general trend was to paint very dark. Modern Chinese painting, they emphasize on light contrast. You got lots of darks to create the lighting effect, the depth. But he want to go the opposite. He will make a painting the lightest in his. That's his goal. So that means translucent. So in choosing color, you want to choose stay with the transparent colors. Like blue, you want to use not opaque blues, but transparent color like indigo or phthalo blue even. I will use ultramarine. The color I use, you see on this practice is ultramarine, Western color. Yeah. So I'm going to, we'll explore ultramarine. But ultramarine has this problem because the binding is not the same as the Maris, maybe. So you don't want to wet mount it. You dry mount it. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it vertically. And we want to dry it before we do the background. Right? Otherwise, if you paint on this, you will bleed. Okay, let me write this toe. T-O-U. Toe. Means transparent. It's a T. Okay, T. Low means sip. Yeah, sip. Sip. Liu means let's just put stop. Okay. Preserve. Stop. This is go. Easy. Go. Stop. Sip and transparent. Translucent. Trans something.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you pronounce transparent?
Toe.
Two.
Toe.
Toe.
Toe. Toe. Like a toe. Like T-O-E. Toe.
Ah,
Yeah. Oops. Broken. Or mounted. Yeah, he probably used a thin paper, but I'm not sure. I do have the double strand also treated. Before I started, it's impossible to do the dark. But I will try later to see if that helps. Because I realized that it's much easier to handle with a thicker paper. So anyway, and we can lead it more if you want, but I think it's probably fine. Let me just do a little bit. Just I don't want to have it like a. It should be fine. I think I will just do some horizontal, just to finish that. So I'll just do this. You can just complete that foreground or river. Oops. Yeah, I just I can use the water in the brush as a chipper, but you can also just use the chipper. Where's that? Okay. Yeah, I think I will just keep working on the upper part. It will be fine. So we need to get a very light ink tone to do that, and you can add a little bit blue in it. Let me try just this ultramarine. This is a new watercolor called the Cool watercolor. It's very vibrant, very strong. It's made by the Golden Acrylic company, same company who made a good Golden Acrylic. So it's very intense. I'm gonna just get some water. So you blend it with a little bit ink. Wow, that's a lot of. I just want to make a whole supply of this, so I don't have to mix it again. That's a lot. You can take some later. Okay. I find that some overnight ink or some this ink cake may help to produce the same edge. I'm not sure, but it creates some kind of particle in it. I think free flow particles or something like that. So let me.
So you want that particle?
I think it's all experimental.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe some will argue the fresh ink creates this little seam lines easier, but I never get that. I never got it from fresh ink. So I try different ways, a mix of the fresh and what do you call this? Ink cake equals to overnight ink. Overnight ink, you can certainly create the texture, I mean the stroke mark, because it doesn't bleed with the water, it stays. But I think by Go, he's kind of like control this kind of movement. So it's like a blob, but on the edge of the blob, it has a definition.
Right.
It's really hard to get, especially on this surface. I think I will just paint it, basically. Yeah, I don't worry about that. So it's secondary to get the seam line. It's purely by luck. So he has seals as created with God, because he's not in control. In other words, yeah. So he cannot duplicate that himself, I guess. Let's just pray sometimes. Okay, so I mix everything, and we can test it to see if the color is too blue, maybe. So we want to add some more color. It does dry light, yeah. So I start from the foreground, but the first layer, okay, the rule of thumb is with this technique, it overlaps different layers, right? So you have to wait each to dry. So you have to wait each shape to dry before you add the overlapping shape. The overlap part will be twice darker than the same. If you're using the same gray, where it overlaps will be darker, right? But you can also vary the dark. So I start from a little darker one. So let's just do the triangle, remember? Okay. And try not to destroy the trees under there. Okay. It will create a watermark still. He hates watermarks, I guess, like us, everybody. But the artist made use of that last class, right?
Right.
For the icy landscape. But he doesn't like that. he wants only the puddle line. So in other words, he liked the puddle line, not the watermarks. So the water should not be too much. If you have too much water, it tends to create a huge gap between two layers. That was the mistake I made before. So I want to caution you. And the second one, it could be higher or lower. So let's do lower, maybe. Triangle. Okay. Just create a, try to have some, okay, this is not good, right? Same.
Could you take it higher or it's too late?
I know, yeah. You can do that. So I see the advantage of this paper does eliminate the water gap.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you cannot do it without treatment. Yeah. So that's one benefit I realized. It was the red star Chen, which is the most water gap effect. That's what they're selling for. But there is still some, but that's good. Not. So it's more forgiving, to some extent. So you just go out. Yeah. And then we'll do another one there. Okay, I want to either go higher or lower. Let's just do. It's a kind of hard decision. If I do, it will be crossing that. So let me just this much, just to cross this. Maybe a little bit touching is fine, but try not to overlap. It's like the gate or something, so that's fine. Then we can dry it with a hair dryer to make it faster. Oops. Okay, okay, we'll continue. We can go a little bit lighter. So I think it's, oh, sorry, the wrong brush. Let me just use a different brush. I'll use this flat brush. Okay. And try to overlap like a half with the previous layer. And if you look at my diagram on the handout, I indicated the 3 steps. Okay, the first one is what I did. And then second one, you see a little bit more complex. And the third one is like a, I use the thickness to try to distinguish the 3 layers. But because it's so small, you cannot really read it. But that's how I planned, okay? So the second layer. So I need to have the skyline complete. So you need to consider the third layer is higher. So second layer is about here, okay? But it goes up and down, right? Let me try to, it's a little bit too, I do it a little bit ink, I think. It's a little bit too blue. Okay, let's have a go. So you want to, oops, I'm not ready. Oh, did you notice that I go from bottom up? Because if you go from top down, you will have a blurb on this, in the sky. So something like this, you just got from experience. But since you're here, I pointed it out, so you notice the direction I did, okay? And this is like a Sechus mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Needle peak. I'll just make this part like overlapping with that, so you can see this is overlapped. Okay, so the two these two share this shape. You understand? This is like a puzzle. Okay. Now, this side, I'm going to do a camel peak, two twin peaks together, okay? I think he often do that. And there's one on the right side. I move it here, okay? So two peaks. Oh, I start from top because I really want to get that feature immediately. So my brush is not so wet, so I can get this. If you start from top, the brush should not be dripping. If it's dripping, you can start from the bottom up. Yeah. So if you keep doing, you will get the feel. So this one is the peak. This should be a little lower. Remember the host-guest or the domination theory. Okay. That's about it. Then we'll do some small ones. Oops. We can try it. Just buy us some time. So then we can overlap with these two. The last layer, I'll add a little more water, so it will be very, very light. And here, if you want to control the consistency while you dilute it, give a little more definition, you might add a little either gelatin or peach sap to keep the volume. But you can also just control it with the brush. So I mean the dryness of the brush. So if you let me see, I probably have to do it with a smaller brush. You want to do the last layer with the smaller shapes, right? Let me see, what is the brush I brought today? This one. Oh, here. So I'm gonna use a soft brush, it's so-called super wash. Okay, so just smaller. I think for that reason I just mentioned, we just use a little bit of glue to see if we can control the bleed better. So I just add a little bit powder, peach sap powder to the water, and it makes it like the what do you call this? When you cook, you make like a little thin paste kind of thing. Yeah, very fine. And you can just, now it doesn't bleed. See, I have more control. Okay, I need to overlap. So don't paint behind, just paint. So this is abstract painting, almost like what do you call the transparent? Yeah, translucent kind of. So it's all elusive, yeah. So this part is overlapping, okay, and this part should also overlap. Oh, this is parallel is not good. So we're going to maybe make another one. Like that. There's some more skyline. You want to vary the now we talk about music. Talk about the rhythm, the rhythm of the skyline. Look at this. So a little bit more activities here. So just go up and down like a maybe very thin, very light. I'll just leave it a little white, it's fine, I think. And you can have even lighter. I'll just grab some water. Very, very fine. I did break that top. I wasn't supposed to. I think that's okay. We know the rules. We break it. Okay, but it'll be better if you have lots of mountains beyond the skyline. It's no good.
Yeah.
Okay, one or two. Fine. So just make asymmetrical. It's fine. Okay, we can add a little darker one. Maybe in the front. Darker gray. Oh, this is too dark. Okay. So try to make this side a little closer to the viewer, somehow. So I have my own interpretation. It's not exactly a copy of the sample. I actually am not looking at any particular one. Just have to experiment, go with the flow. Okay. And if you want, you can do the upside down bleed again, but I just paint it, maybe just paint some tree, some color, like palm trees or something like that. Just a little bit. Just you can add some darks in addition to the in addition to the original, we call that effect. You can add some, but don't try to destroy. Just like we make the monoprint, you want to keep that, but somehow you also want to add a touch, finishing touch, but not overdoing it. Yeah. Maybe some reflections of sky. And he also used overlapping layers, like he does on the top. So you need to wait each layer to dry, and then you create this kind of little line, subtle line. We can just use the technique we learned last time. Maybe just add some water lines first, and then ripples. Like you clean water, and then you do the reflection. Just combine different artists. I got a masking tape here. Yeah. I don't. I saw he didn't do any boat in the river, although you can do that. Or he would do some birds. That's more cliche, but he does that. Yeah. Yeah, I did this also. This the birds in the sky. Then we have to dry it to do that. There's some blue that pops up. And we can just add some more to that instead. I think it's fine. So now you see, because some part is dry, sometimes it's wet, so it's a little bit messy. But let me dry it. And the best is to mount it, and you'll really see it. Because I did the foreground first, there's some extra white. I don't know if it's maybe a good idea to keep.
I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
It's like the sun peeking through.
Yeah, the lighting effect. So his artist doesn't really care about light and shadow, that kind of depth. His two-dimensional abstraction, kind of very decorative. But we want to be little bit realistic, but not realism. Abstract realism, maybe something like that. Yeah. Record this.
Oh.
But this one is live. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll have one at least. I'll do the next time. That's a backup. Yeah. So this one is live, I think. Yeah, it's still live, right? So this is the first experiment on single shrine, but treated with detergent. Look, very diluted detergent. No? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
No, it's leave it. It's really, I like it the way it is too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's wonderful.
thank you. Yeah, that really created a focal point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put a.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like the bottom where you really made that pop.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Where it looks like the water in the island, and then it looks like it goes inward a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
That really.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, that's why he said his painting is like the pottery he does. He is a potter too.
Yes.
So when you put the glaze on the huge pot, you never know what's the result. And he think the Kaune, K-A-U-N-E, Kaune. How to say that? That Kaune. The Kaune of his painting is the society, the audience. So like the class here. So as a potter, he has no control of the result. So it's the chemistry of the Kaune of the society that makes it the final product. So he made that analogy. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
So he has some expectation, some feedbacks, some reaction, some maybe some modification based on the audience, like you guys. So it's a chemistry that's of everything he has learned in the past. His teacher, his experience in Gongbi Fine Line, his experience with Shanghai landscape master Lu Yanshao. He's the person who summarized the 5 compositional words. Remember the Z, the left and the right emphasis. That's his teacher. That's his teacher. Yeah. So his teacher is like, but he didn't learn his teacher's style. He used some inspiration from his teacher. Yeah. So it's a kin, of like a potter. So you cannot really control the final. But there are some rules like dark, light, some balance, some rhythm. It's all universal. So he learned the Western watercolor. I never saw an original painting, but I think he used the raw paper. It could be on different paper, but he treated he did mention that he treated the paper first before painting. Yeah. He didn't mention what treatment he may have. So there's also a lot of experiment inspired by his painting. Everybody want to make it what is called a 专利 what they call patent to patent I see some patent but already expired. They use this kind of technique that they claim is the patent. So using a few drops of water, ink and let it bleed into a banana tree. Yeah. But he started this. He didn't really reveal his secret, so he has no patent behind it. That's why we can do it. Everybody can create your own patent to play with. Experimental sumi. Yeah, or sumi experiment. I think there are 2 schools of art in China now. One is called experimental sumi, or shuimo. That's a completely modern art with no objective images, just a pure play of sumi. And he is not in that school, although he may be inspired of them. He is the founder of this, but he's not in that trend. He stayed with realistic experimentals, not experiment, realistic sumi experiment, sumi-a experiment. Yeah, his painting is sumi experiment, not experimental sumi. Yeah, it's very subtle, right? Yeah. Okay. Any questions on his approach and our interpretation? You can try yourself. Or maybe try this. As I did on my piece, I did the background first. Then you can still do the foreground with ink the same way. Yeah, upside down. No, have the upside down. If it's flat, just put the water on the lower part. And let it bleed, not to the extent the water should be behind the ink, so you will create a puddle edge. If you go beyond the ink, it becomes a soft edge. Like here, the water is beyond the puddle. You'll see this, they're like a feather edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it feather edge. This is like hard edge.
Oh,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So to control the rain or flow, you have to kind of push it behind. You keep adding water here, not on top. Just
Right.
what I sometimes I do, I just put the brush sit on the on the river for like 20 minutes. See what happens. Just go do something else, and come back. Yeah, you'll see a big bloom waiting for you. Okay.
okay. So should we use regular Chen, or could we try your, what would you rather we do?
Yeah, you can try this. Let me stop the recording, and maybe we go online again later. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna help the in-person students right now here.